Let's look at the quadratic equation x squared plus 36 equals 0. The first thing you might notice about this is that it's missing a bx term. There's no x term, just a squared term and a constant term. We can solve this by something called the square root method. First, we'll solve for x squared. That will make it x squared equals negative 36. And once we have x squared on one side, we can take the square root of both sides. Leaving us with x on one side. We have to remember when we take the square root to get plus or minus, and we'd have the square root of negative 36. Now we have to consider what the square root of negative 36 is. Because it's negative, we're going to bring in the imaginary I, and we know that the square root of 36 is 6. So the answer to this problem is x equals plus or minus 6i. Now we'll try another kind of interesting application for using the square root method to solve problems that look a little more complicated. We can use the square root method to solve this type of problem. Your first response to a problem like this might be to expand this and then set it equal to 0. But we can use the square root method on this technique because we have something squared equals 12. So we're ready to take the square root right now. Take the square root of both sides, and we end up with x plus 5 equals, don't forget the plus minus, the square root of 12. Now we can solve for x by subtracting 5 from both sides, and we'll have the solution. X equals negative 5 plus or minus. We should probably stop and simplify this radical 12. 12 is 4 times 3. The square root of 4 is 2 radical 3. So our final solution is x equals negative 5 plus the square root 2 square root of 3, or x equals negative 5 minus 2 radical 3. And we see that we don't have to expand this. We can use the square root method and do the solving for x after we've done the square root.